I shouldn't be admitting this on camera. No, this is actually really kind of funny. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Emily and welcome to the start of a bit of a writing vlog and also a bit of a writing experiment. As you may know, since I cannot simply work on one series idea at once, I am working on In Dying Starlight and I'm working on Project Frost, but I'm also working on a book in the lit RPG genre. This is my first time trying to write lit RPG, and I have two separate ideas for this. I actually have three, but we'll keep it to two because I confuse myself. I don't want to confuse you guys. But I have two main ideas. The first is more complicated, and I am outlining it as I tend to do. The second is very much not complicated at all, and I've just decided that since I'm outlining the other one, I might as well write this one. Is that a brilliant idea? I don't know. Only time will tell. But we are now committed because we are 3 chapters in. I'm going to write the 4th chapter today. This is tentatively a standalone. Could become longer. We will see how I feel about it after I draft the entire first one. I have a loose plot idea in my head, a loose idea of how the magic system is going to work. So this is very much a teaching myself how to write lit RPG book. And also, I have not pantsed anything in quite a while. I mean genuinely pantsed something. Usually I like to do a bit of a hybrid of outlining and pantsing, and this one I don't know really where I'm going with it, but I'm just having fun writing it off the top of my head. So that's a little bit of part of the experiment, is how is this gonna turn out? The second part of this is back in my short story writing days. I used to edit as I go. I have long since stopped doing that. When I draft stuff, I draft through the whole thing. I do a 0 draft or a first draft, whatever you want to call it. It's just rough. I don't edit anything as I go. And then I go back and edit it. That process works for me. I like that process. But on the other hand, since I am planning on posting this book as a web novel sometime within the next couple of months, I was thinking Emily in a couple months from now will probably appreciate me if I edit this thing as I go. I do not suspect a lot of developmental edits, so what I have been doing is before I start the writing session, I go back and I look at the chapter I wrote the day before, and I turn on Grammarly and I look for typos and I do any mild developmental edits that I might have forgotten to put in the first draft, and then I move along to whatever I'm writing for the day. This is both good to give me a second draft by the time I am done drafting it, and also because I'm working on In Dying Starlight at the same time, and sometimes I'm writing In Dying Starlight first and then this lit RPG second. If I'm writing In Dying Starlight, it kind of gets me back in the headspace of writing the lit RPG if I edit that chapter beforehand. Usually when I draft, I'm way too impatient to actually edit, so we're gonna see how much extra time this adds into my drafting process, if I can still draft something in an appropriate amount of time, and just how happy I am with the draft once I finish it. What I'm writing is kind of known as a monster evolution story because the main character isn't human. He's kind of humanoid, but he's not really human. This book's a little bit of a mixture of fantasy with kind of a little bit of science fiction-y feel to it. The other one that I have mentioned in previous vlogs where I was talking about it, I was writing out notes in a notebook. That is actually the other lit RPG. That's a bit more complicated, and I think I really need to spend time working on the plot and also the system, because the system is more complicated. The magic system is more complicated. So I'm kind of working on that and drafting this. In Dying Starlight will wrap up soon. Probably soon. Novellas 11 and 12, I think I'm going to take what little ideas I have for 13 and 14 and mesh them into 11 and 12, so you get 2 longer final books instead of 4 shorter books. I'm kind of working on 11. I finished the draft I had for 11 and then realized I needed to expand it, so I'm like working on 11.2. Though it is March, you can use the NaNoWriMo website whenever you feel like it. So I have set up a NaNoWriMo page for this month with a goal of 45,000 words, because that ends up being just write a chapter every day. These chapters I'm aiming for 1,200 to 1,500 word chapters. That's a good length for web novel chapters. So I'm just trying to do 1 chapter a day, and that comes out to about 45,000 words. So yeah, yesterday, March 1st, I did my 1,400 words. Today I was working on In Dying Starlight earlier, but I will do chapter 4 today. So welcome to a slightly unhinged writing experiment where I pants a book truly pants a book for the first time in ages, and also edit as I go. Hello, it is Monday, March 6th. I have almost kept up with doing a chapter a day. Yesterday, I did not do one. On the 2nd, I didn't, but I made up for it the next day, so. But I've written 7,100 words this month, which is almost on track. Not quite, because I didn't write a chapter yesterday. And 500 words of that in there somewhere is In Dying Starlight. So far, writing a lit RPG, not as difficult as I was afraid, but probably because I'm making the magic system and the numbers as simple as humanly possible, which is smart because this feels like my practice book. So we are almost on track, and I'm quite happy with it. So far, a whole week in. It is Wednesday, March 8th, so I am a little bit off track because on Sunday and Monday, I didn't write a chapter. On Sunday, I did some outlining stuff, and Monday, I wrote some In Dying Starlight. Yesterday, I wrote my chapter. This morning, I was editing that chapter, keeping up on the editing as I'm going along thing. I'm gonna be happy about that when I finish this draft. I'm gonna be really happy about that. So I've written 8,500 words of the lit RPG this month, 700 words of an outline, and that puts me over 10,000 words in the story total. I know that writing routines are good for me and that they work, but I always hate actually trying to put them to use. And yet here we are. You know what? Writing every day, or at least trying to write a chapter every day, is resulting in words being written. What a big shock. Think I'm getting a feel for the voice, think I know where I'm going with it. I really don't like writing solo characters, and this character was literally just born to this world. He was born in this kind of abandoned section of the world, so he had nobody to interact with, and I don't really like that. That's not my thing. Dialogue is my bread and butter. I need people to interact with, and he has just finally met the first other person in this world. So he's gonna finally start finding the rest of the cast of this book, so I'm much happier with it. The first 10K is good. It's solid. It's just not my happiest part to write because there wasn't any other characters. Oh, one more thing before I let you guys go. I got samples of the one more chapter sticker. Isn't it cute? They're so cute. I love them. They're adorable. Hello, it is Monday, March 13th. My camera strap is in the way. It is Monday, we're almost halfway through the month. Ew, we're almost halfway through the month. I did a 5K day on Saturday. My graph is loading, hold on. Pending. Friday. I did 2,000 words on In Dying Starlight and 3,200 words on the lit RPG. I've written 12,300 words of the lit RPG and 4,100 words of In Dying Starlight. I'm having quite a bit of fun. So I am ahead on my NaNoWriMo graph. It's at 18,700 words for the month. I feel like I have nothing to say but word count updates this time. Oh yeah, I have to start editing. Yeah, that's a big thing. I have to start editing In Dying Starlight 8 this week to send to my proofreader in like a week. I don't know, this is all I got. Okay. It is Wednesday, March 15th. We're halfway through the month. On Monday, I only ended up writing 100 words on the lit RPG. I'm shaking the camera. And then deciding I didn't want to write anymore. Stop shaking the camera. But that's fine because yesterday I did 2 chapters, 2,400 words, and then I'm back to the editing schedule on In Dying Starlight. I edited 4 chapters of In Dying Starlight. Back when Aaron was still kind of trying to convince himself that he didn't like having his human friends around. He's not very good at convincing himself anymore. I'm gonna turn off the camera and then edit, and then draft, and then edit. Hello, it is Friday, March 17th. I have nothing to report other than that editing as I go is brilliant. I've officially hit 20,000 words in this new book. This book is so much cleaner when I'm editing the next day. It really is. I need to learn to do this more often. Hello, it is Monday, March 20th. Yesterday on Sunday, did I write 5,000 words? Yes, I did. Was it on the lit RPG? No, of course it wasn't. It was on In Dying Starlight. That brings me almost to 30,000 words for the month. 29,500 words. That's not the important part. The important part is I wrote one of my favorite set of scenes in the whole series. emotionally satisfying, yes. I can't really explain it to you without spoiling it for those of you who are actually reading the series. Lots of emotional character connection. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to go write more of it, because I think I'm nearly done with novella number 12, which is the longest one so far. It's over 42,000 words long. I don't want to finish it, but also I really like this part, so... help. Hello, hello. It is Friday, March 24th. I don't think I updated you since Monday. Couple of things. I'll get the shortest thing out of the way first, because I am indecisive and I don't know how to straighten my camera. Because I am indecisive, I have written about the first 22,000 words on the Monster Lit RPG, and I promptly decided that I'm gonna put that aside for a while, and I started this. The other lit RPG. This is Project Grandfather, by the way. I don't think I ever told you a project name. And I've rewritten the first 3 chapters of that in the last couple of days. Look, the only thing, like I said, that you should count on for certain is that I'm going to be doing In Dying Starlight religiously until it is finished, which is very close. But that is the only thing I'm going to be doing consistently. Other than that, I will jump around in projects until one of them punches me in my soul so hard that I have to keep working on it, if that makes sense. Not in a bad way, like grabs on to my soul. You know, look, like 99% of my audience is probably writers. You guys know what I'm talking about. I did pivot a little bit on this. The main storyline in Project Grandfather, as you can probably tell by the title, is basically cranky old grandpa character gets stuck with his grandkids that he didn't know he has, and they have to go on an adventure. That's the basic plot line, because I am addicted to writing parent-child relationships in any form that they might come in. And originally it was one grandchild, and now it's a brother and a sister. So more characters the better. So I've pivoted to that. I've also been writing In Dying Starlight more than I anticipated. I've written 40,000 words so far this month. Nice. But here's the other thing I wanted to mention. You know, In Dying Starlight 11, it was going to be originally 14 novellas, and I decided to do 2 longer ones, so it's going to be 12. So I was writing In Dying Starlight 11 Part 2, and I finished that. It's the longest novella. It's not technically even a novella anymore, because it's 49,000 words. By the time I'm done editing it, it might hit 50, which makes it a real novel. But I got to the part in the book which is an emotional twist. I'm going to attempt to talk about this without giving spoilers or making people suspicious of what the spoiler is. I have had some people guess in the comments certain things, the comments on Royal Road, certain things about what's going to happen in the later book, and I'm just like... But anyway, I wrote an emotional scene. And I wrote the emotional twist, and then like 20,000 words later, the characters actually got to sit down and talk about it, because I am incapable of not writing angst. There was like the twist, and then everything went to hell, and now they get to actually talk about it. I shouldn't be admitting this on camera. No, this is actually really kind of funny. Look, I don't cry when I write my books. I don't. Like, at the most, you get a little emotional, you get a little, you know, well up a little bit. I don't cry when I write my books. The most I've cried about one of my books is when I finished Under the Earth, and I was, like, done with it completely, because I wasn't going to write it anymore, and I wasn't going to do the characters anymore, which I will definitely do for In Dying Starlight, because, but I don't, like, cry at my own scenes, you know? I can't say that anymore. I was just writing a conversation between the main character and one of the side characters, and I don't mean like I got a little emotional. Like, I ugly cried. It was weird. I've never done that before. It was bizarre. It was very strange. I'm like, why am I crying as I'm typing it? So there's that. Nobody else has read that scene yet, so I don't know if that's a scene that it hit me as the author but it won't hit anybody else, or if this is like a universal, this is gonna make people cry chapter. And I probably won't know, because I feel like if any of my Royal Road readers are watching these videos, hi, comment. But also, I don't think they would tell me in the comments if it made them cry. Royal Road does not feel like the place where people tell you that they cried at your book. That feels like Goodreads reviews will tell you if they cried at your book. So I don't know. I'll give it to my mom and I'll see if I emotionally traumatize her. She already knows about the twist though. But it wasn't the twist technically that made me cry. It was the conversation about it later. I didn't know that was gonna happen. I was like, I'm gonna write an angsty conversation, and then an hour later, I was like, oh my god. I think it's a mixture of the conversation and the knowledge that this is the end of book 11 and I only have book 12 to go. Book 12 will be kind of long, yeah, but that's all I got. So, you guys are gonna hear about this until, I don't know, until for a long time. So yeah, I finished In Dying Starlight 11. I'm gonna have to be doing some editing on that, but mostly I'm going to be drafting this for the rest of the month, and also next month, because next month is Camp NaNo. I've had an emotional week. Okay, I have to make this quick because I filmed a very long video and now my camera is at 6%. Nothing new there. I don't have a lot to report. Today is Wednesday, March 29th. It's almost the end of the month. NaNoWriMo, or Camp NaNoWriMo. That's what we're looking forward to. Don't have a lot to report because I've been feeling very the last couple of days. That was articulate. I haven't been feeling very creative the last couple of days. Last couple days, 400 words, 600 words, 800 words, 200 words. Yeah, not a lot. That being said, I've already written 1,000 words this morning. I'm planning on having a better writing day today. I've written 42,000 words so far this month. 3 more and that's my goal. 45,000 because I wanted to do 1 chapter a day of the Monster Lit RPG, and then I promptly changed my mind. I realized this was supposed to be an experiment video about like pantsing a book and editing at the same time. And I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about both. I'm quite happy pantsing the Monster Lit RPG. I did outline a little bit of it because I thought of stuff while I was pantsing. But I didn't actually stop writing that book because I got stuck on it. I just stopped writing it because I wanted to switch over to Project Grandfather, and I'm a lot more excited about that. And I'm half pantsing this one too. And editing at the same time is giving me much cleaner drafts than I would have had before, so I'm continuing to do that with Project Grandfather. So yeah, the experiment did go off the rails, but I'm happy with what I got out of it. Right about 7,000 words into Project Grandfather. There's some good angst going on here. I think one of the reasons I like it so much more is this character has a very, very complicated backstory, and in the Monster Evolution, that main character did not, and complicated backstories, I love them. It was never gonna be as easy for me to write the Monster Evolution just because he doesn't have much of a backstory. Love giving my characters angsty backstories, so I'm gonna get back to it. Alright, March is over. It's April 1st. It is Saturday, April 1st. I ended up writing 1 day later, I can't remember what I wrote. I ended up reaching my goal. I wrote 45,200 words. My goal for last month was 45,000, although it was supposed to be 45,000 on the Monster Lit RPG, and as we know, we just switched right over. About 15,000 words of last month was on In Dying Starlight, about 20,000 was on the Monster Lit RPG, and about 10,000 was on Project Grandfather. It means I've almost written 90,000 words for this year. Not bad for 3 months, one of which was mostly editing. So I'm gonna show you something really quick that has nothing to do with writing, but also it has to do with books, and then we're gonna wrap this vlog up. Look what came yesterday. Do you see it? First enamel pin! The Forbidden Lovers one. It looks so nice. Camera, please focus. Please, thank you. I am super happy with how they turned out. Extremely happy with how they turned out. I've never made enamel pins before, and I have bought very few of them because they're expensive. I love it. So that's that. That is the end of this month. It was a very good writing month. Wrote a lot of words. Cried about In Dying Starlight. Decided that I'm switching to this, and I like it a lot more. I took a couple days off near the end of the month, not off, but I didn't write very much because I was working on figuring out the magic system, and this one is different and slightly more complicated, and I've never really written a proper lit RPG system before, so it took me a while and a lot of complaining to my writer friends and wandering around the house going, how do I do this? That's not an exaggeration. But I have got it, and once it's a little bit more nailed down, I'll show you guys what I'm working with and what I'm doing. I'm still very much learning how to write lit RPGs, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I will give more details very soon. But it's now Camp NaNoWriMo, so I gotta close this vlog and start the Camp Nano vlog. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, giving it a thumbs up and a subscribe really helps out my channel. We're getting so close to 1,000 subscribers. I know a lot of you who watch this aren't subscribed. Subscribe button. I'm watching you. You can read Under the Earth, Over the Sky, as well as all my other books. Links are in the description. And I will see you all in Camp NaNoWriMo, April 2023. Bye!